I'm going to wait one more minute. So while I do, I just wanted to say, if you don't have like a cup of tea or your coffee, I've got 3 mugs in front of me. I have my coffee, I have my hot water, and I have my thermos to refill my hot water. So if you need to gather anything like that, go ahead. You'll also need a pen. If you don't have your journal pages printed out, then don't worry. You'll need just a journal to write in any kind of things to things, anything that you can write on. Good. The other thing I wanted to screen share with you is how to how to donate to Helping Hands because it's a little bit tricky. So, can you guys see? I won't be able to tell. You go to the Donate Now button, and then it takes you to another screen, and then you have to press Donate Now again, and then it takes you to another screen. And oh, here it looks like I've already done it. So you actually, for the first time I went in, I had to type Helping Hands, and then I had to scroll through a list of things. And then once I could scroll through, it brought me to Helping Hands Society of Cochrane. I clicked on it, and then it brings you to this. So just know that it's a little bit of complicated to get there. Helping Hands Cochrane is the people who they organize the food shed in town. They're the ones who set up. They're the ones who set up for newcomers to join. I don't know. They're just a really good organization in this town. So anything that you can do to support that, it goes to a good cause. It stays in town, and ATB Financial matches our donations. So that's kind of good. Good. There's our housekeeping for today. Pen, something to write with, something to write on, and if you didn't see it, then how to get into Helping Hands and donate to that great cause here in town. Most of you guys know me. There's a couple of new faces that are on the call today, so I just wanted to let you know who I am. My name's Jill Novak, and I've been teaching yoga and Ayurveda for 12 years probably, and then the last few years we've been doing this Reflect and Vision workshop. This is how I run all the offerings that I do. I really believe that inside of us is like our truth, our knowledge. And we live in a world where we've been taught to go find our solutions, our truth, our answers externally. And I really think that that's the wrong way to do it. I feel like, yeah, there's some answers that come from external places, but there is a truth that comes from inside of us that's far more potent and potential than anything that we could be doing that's external. So everything that I teach comes from this place of first, we need to go inward. First, we need to go inward because the deeper we can connect with our own self, the deeper we can connect to our own truth, the more we will be able to be guided and um, make decisions from that place. So when we can make decisions from that place, when we can move from that place, then all of a sudden, I don't know, it just feels like there's more ease to life. It feels like we're living more authentically. It feels like we're stepping bravely towards what really fulfills us. So that's my framework for a workshop like this morning. That's my framework is that while we go in, I don't want it to be like, how they talk about SMART goals and things like that. I don't want it to be like that. I want this to come from some really deep, wise truth inside of you. And when we can find that place, I think that we're all led just a little bit more divinely in life. So we are going to spend about half an hour reflecting on what just happened in 2022. We're going to spend about half an hour looking at what 2023 has to offer us.
Wow.
And then maybe we'll spend the last half hour um, just
Wow.
nailing down some of the ways in which we could keep our connection to ourselves so that we could really bring forth, we could really bring into fruition what we have planned for ourselves, what we have dreamed for ourselves in 2023. And we'll spend the last bit of time doing that. So settle in. There's a couple things that I believe really get us connected. One is, for me, movement, breath into body, and the second one is meditation. So if you practice yoga, then you know that sometimes it is the sweet asana, it's the sweet practice of yoga that allows you to rest deeply in shavasana. It's almost like it's the movement practice that brings you to the place where that just deep, settled feeling can take place. So ideally, if we were going to do this live in person, we would have an hour-long yoga class first. We would be absolutely connecting into our bodies first. We don't have an hour to do that right now. So we're going to do something quick and easy. We're going to do a little qigong practice to get ourselves started this morning. So I invite you to stand up. You guys can turn your cameras off. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You're going to be just in relationship with yourself this morning. All right. I'm backing way up into my room. My light won't be so great back here. You'll be all right. Nice. Okay, so I'd like you to rub your hands together. Start taking some nice deep breaths. Feel your feet ground down. And then just begin to pat your arms. Pat down one arm, do both sides. Pat down the other arm, do both sides. Let yourself tap the top of your head, maybe with your fingertips lightly, going down the sides of your head towards your ears, coming down the front of your face, your forehead, the bone right above your eyes, coming down to the bone below your eyes, down your cheekbone, to your jawbone, to your chin. Come to the front of your chest and tap on your collarbones. From your collarbones, I want you to just pat down the front of your chest all the way. Go down to your hips, pat across the front of your hips and down your legs. Good. Come up the sides of your legs, come around to the back, tap where your kidneys are, come to your bum, down all the way to the backs of your legs. Take your hands and just tap across the back of your shoulder on each side. Yeah. And now I just want you to stand and shake. Let your arms shake out. Maybe you're actually going to bounce. Maybe you're just going to let your feet stay flat on the floor. Whatever it is, you're just feeling yourself warm up a bit. What we're wanting to do is infuse fresh oxygenated blood into all the cells of your body. We want the cells to be alive and awake. We want to embody. We want to be connected to our body, not just our brain as we go into our practice today. So you're tapping, you're shaking, you're just feeling that energy start to move. And when you're ready, really slowly, let yourself come to stillness. Slowly, whatever little small movements you need as you let yourself come to stillness. Take a deep breath in and out. Perhaps you'll close your eyes. And just take a moment to feel. Take a moment to be present to the sensations in your body, the movement of energy. Notice your prana. That's our yoga word for vitality, for life force, for breath. And as you let yourself absorb into this place, just know that you're inviting the wisdom of your body to be present today in everything that comes forward. That you are tuning your listening ear into the subtle communication that your body might have for you today. Lovely. And when you're ready, just let yourself eyes flutter open, start to breathe, and we will come back to our seat. So you're drawing yourselves back down into your chair. Lovely. Before we go into 2022 and our reflection of it, we're going to do a meditation that sort of visualizes it all. And before you start to write, before you start to externalize anything, I want you to just be present with the feelings. Just be present with the sensations of 2022. So that when you do draw up at the end of the meditation to write, what comes forward is coming from that place. So we've done body. We're going to do a bit more breathing, and then we're going to go into meditation. So we're going to try and connect all these pieces. We want to connect mind, body, soul before we start to, purge onto the page. Because I think sometimes if we just purge onto the page when we're only in our brain space, we just get that ego. We get, I don't know, we get our fears, we get that top layer of noise. And we're really way more than that top layer of noise. So what's important for me today is that we do a few of those like deeper things so we can get past the top layer of noise to what's really important. So let yourself settle in. Maybe your feet are on the floor. Maybe it's just your sit bones grounded. Perhaps you're going to close your eyes. You're taking long, deep breaths in and out. And again, you're just noticing how that breath infuses into your body. It's like the cells of your body just accept and receive that fresh packet of nutrients and oxygen that flow in on every inhale. You can feel that it's almost like the cells get plumper and juicier, more full and complete. And let's just invite anything that has our highest self in mind, that can be present to just lift up and bring forward our highest self. And to invite the messages that we receive today to be the ones that we need to hear, the ones that are most important for our growth and our happiness and our fulfillment. Feel the earth beneath you. And as if at the earth's core is this really strong, potent magnet. And feel that magnetic energy just pulling you into the ground, grounding you. as if everything that's in this magnetic force is nourishing, stabilizing, supportive. It's like you're being pulled down into like a warm bed with lots of blankets around you. You're being pulled down into someone's lap and their arms wrapping around you. Just feel that deep grounding energy. And now feel the universal energy, like a warm white light coming down through the crown of your head, connecting you on the other end to divinity, to universal wisdom, to the truth that you know without ever having to be taught the truth. It's just present. And I want you to feel these two energies meet inside of you. For this is what it is to be human, to be the conduit between earth and heaven, to be living in this form of where this duality exists. I want you to just give yourselves a few breaths there. I'd like you to journey back in your mind a year ago. And I want you to just scan the months of the year. Think about January, February. What about March? When you tip into springtime, what did the months of April and May bring to you? What about June? When you think about the summer months of July and August, what's most important to know? What about September? October? November? December? Just scanning these last 12 months. What is it that your deep self wants you to know? What are the thoughts that flow through your head? What are the sensations that arise in your body? I want you to just be present to the feelings and the thoughts, and just acknowledge them with gratitude, perhaps compassion, whatever's necessary. And then when you're ready, just let yourself take that deep breath and exhale. And bring yourself up to start to write. There's a page in your journal notes where you can just scribble down the blessings and the challenges of 2023, roughly putting them into the months that they happened in. You can just spill onto the page what was most prominent in your head. I'm going to set a timer for us now. And you can write. Okay, if you need to go on to your next page, what did 2022 teach you? Then definitely fill in the first four: milestones, accomplishments, turning points, key lessons. Leave the bottom two for a second. What can you take away with gratitude? What do you want to release? Leave that for a moment. Milestones for me are things like a big birthday or a kid's graduation. Accomplishments are things that I had to work towards or I had to create. Turning points are events that happened that shifted you to a new perspective somehow. And they all teach us something. I'm going to give you another minute. All right. Now that you have all that spilled onto the page, let's go back into our meditation for a moment. I'm going to close my eyes, put my feet on the floor, connect to that magnet earth energy, to the warm white light, divine universal energy. And just feel in my body, what is it that I want to release? It's a pattern, it's a lesson I've learned that I can let go of now. One that I don't need to repeat over again because I understand it now. I see it clearly. What can I let go of? Notice the sensation in your body. So if you don't have words to go along with that sensation, don't worry about it. Just be present to the sensation. Even if your mind can't make sense of it, your body knows exactly. On some other level, your soul, your spirit knows exactly what you're letting go of. Take a deep breath there. You might need an exhale out through your mouth. You might need 2 or 3. And now move to what you'd like to take away, what you'd like to carry forward, bring into 2023. What magic became clear in 2022 that you most definitely want to have present in this next year? And again, don't worry so much about words if they're not coming. Stay with the sensation. Feel the emotion. Take a nice deep breath. Let yourself exhale that out of your mouth once, twice, 3 times. If writing is easy and this can spill out and you can fill out those last 2 sections, what you can take away with gratitude and what you want to release that no longer serves you, then write. If you'd like to take a minute right now to get your audio notes out, the voice memo, you know, that little guy, oh, right there. Get your little voice memo out, and I'll give you a couple minutes to just voice memo these two to yourself. So you will say out loud, I would like to release, and I'd like to bring forward, or you'll scribble in your notebook. All right. Okay, so to finalize this piece of 2022, let's go back into our meditation. So you're feeling your seat, you're feeling the Earth's magnetic energy pulling you down. You're feeling the warm white light of universal energy connecting you to source, to universal wisdom. And you're just acknowledging your truth. Just for a minute, notice the sensations of being present to what you're going to release. Perhaps you're going to say it out loud right now. Maybe you're just going to feel it. And acknowledging what it is that you're going to carry forward. Now that you've felt it, you've verbalized it, you've written it, you've made it really real. So just tie a bow on 2022. Thank this time period for all it had to offer you and teach you, for the guidance that it provided, the milestones that you got to be present for, accomplishments, for the turning point moments. And just with gratitude and with compassion, say thank you. Out loud or in your head, it doesn't matter. As long as it's in your heart, say thank you. Nice work. All right. 2022. I don't know if you're going to turn your page or switch your notes, but somehow right now we're turning the page. We're not going to be looking at the near past or far past anymore. We're going to look at the near future and maybe far future if you consider a year to be far. The way we're going to start with visioning our 2023 is by doing a future self meditation. Again, with the goal to be present to our highest self and to be present to the sensations and the feelings of what it is we really want. This future self meditation is a really good way to do that. So I'm going to invite you to settle into another meditation. And in this meditation, we're going to do a nice visualization of you meeting and having a conversation with your future self a year from now. So settle in. Perhaps you're going to close your eyes. You're connecting again to your earth energy. You're connecting to that divine light. You're feeling yourself held safely and securely between these two divine forces. I want you to imagine yourself waking up a year from now. December, maybe even January 1st, 2023, the end of 2022. I want you to imagine yourself peeling out of bed. Notice how you feel. Notice the thoughts in your head. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice your mood. I want you to picture the first few moments of your day, the rhythms and the routines that you move through. Notice if it's still dark or if it's starting to be light, if there's a sunrise. Notice where you are. Notice who's with you. I want you to imagine that, you're cozy, you're ready, whatever you wanted to be dressed in for the day, you're dressed in it. You don't have big plans today. It's relaxing. It's a sweet, easy day. You get, I don't know if it's a text or a knock at your door from you in 2022, just saying, hey, you around? Can I come for tea? Come for a drink? And you say yes. And so 2022 you comes and sits down with 2023 you, or end of 2022 you. And you just get to be together. And the you from today, from 2022, is so curious. How are you? What happened? What was this year like? What's going on? And just allow the conversation to happen where the you from a year from now gets to share what 2023 was like. How was life? What were your relationships like? What was home feeling like? What communities were important to you? How did you participate in these communities? What was work like? How did it fulfill you? What was your health like in 2023? And let yourself chat about those milestones. What accomplishments did you achieve this year? What does future self have to say about turning points or lessons learned? And importantly, What does future self have to tell you about what you did differently in 2023 to get these results? What did you do differently? What did you bring forward from 2022 and integrate? And most of all, what advice does future self have for you now as we tip into this next season? What does future self want you to know? Feel yourself taking a nice, deep, big breath. Feel yourself exhaling. I want you to seal off this meditation with like an acknowledgement of the wisdom that has come from future to be with you today. Maybe you can picture yourself giving yourself a big hug. Maybe you guys are just saying thank you. But just seal off this meditation with a deep breath and gratitude. And come to write. Lift your pen to your paper and spill out onto your paper everything that came from your visualization, your future self, the wisdom, the what was important, what essential things did your future self need you to know as you move into the next year? If you want to move on to the next page, you can start to create and fill out some goals. One more minute, and we'll move to the next part. All right. So you're moving on to the sheet that talks about your goals for the coming year. Now, these goals now should be coming from a different place. They're not just being dumped out of your brain, they're really coming from the sensations and feelings that your meditation brought forward about your 2023. And so you might be noticing that instead of being like really concrete goals, like when I wrote below, I said, I want to make $100,000 this year. Maybe that's not the kind of goal that's coming up anymore, but maybe it is. It doesn't matter. It's just that these desires now are coming from the wisdom of your whole being. So let these desires be acknowledged. Yoga talks about moving towards what we are attracted to. So if something shiny over there is catching your eye, let that be a cue that that's what interests you. Move towards that which interests you. The other day, the Year of You group and I did the 4 aims of life, and we talked about once you have sort of these basic needs left, then you move towards kama, which is pleasure in yoga. You move towards pleasure. You move toward that which feels pleasurable for you. And from that place of pleasure is your dharma, is your purpose, is your goal in life. So we're never, yoga doesn't expect us, life doesn't want us to be toiling somewhere that feels awful and horrible. Life wants us to move towards pleasure than to move towards our dharma, our purpose. And from that place, we are liberated. We have ease. We find samadhi. We find peace, ease, release, bliss. So scribble down your goals for this coming year and notice if there's a word, if there is a word. And if you find your word, write it in the chat. If you're like, I got it, this is my word. The next piece that's important is to not think of these things as being something that's far off in the future or that is not present right now. It's to acknowledge that these things are here. They are available. They are in our They're connected to our earth magnetic energy. They're connected to our divine energy. And we are that conduit in the middle, and that anything that we can desire is possible for us. So as you're translating your goals to I am statements, instead of I will or I hope to or my goal is to just like, I am. I am fulfilled. I am at ease. I am moving from a place of love. I am responsible. I have responsibility. I have the ability to respond to both my needs and the needs out there. Ooh, good words. Peace, hope, trust coming up in the chat. I am acting in my own self-interest. I am acting and supporting my highest self. What if your word of the year was I am? I am peace. I am trust. I am hope. Hope, peace, trust, trust. Nice. There's a belief that even when we are fully embodied, even when we bring forward what is meant to come to us in our next season from a full, a full picture place, from mind, body, and soul, there's still a belief that because of our earthly form, because of our human presence, our human being experience, we can't fathom the possibilities. We can't possibly fathom what the universe could have in store for us. So I want you to look at this page with your hopes and your dreams for this next year. And we're gonna, again, you're gonna look at your phone, and you can either get your audio out and say some things to yourself, or you can write, or you can meditate. Here's what I want you to bring into the feeling and the essence I want you to bring into this page that you've created. I want this or something more. Like that idea of Garth Brooks' song, Unanswered Prayers. Like if these are my prayers and these aren't answered, then know that it's because the universe has something bigger planned for you, better planned for you. And that while you are offering up to universe, offering up to earth for your next season, that this is what you could dream for yourself. Give permission, give opportunity for any bigger possibility to arise. This or something more. So I'm going to give you a minute, and you're either going to grab onto your phone and you're going to say either your word of the year or your I am statements out loud to yourself on your phone, recording yourself, and then say, I desire this or something more in whatever words you need to say. Okay, I'm going to mute myself, and you guys can have a few minutes to just seal off 2023. How does that feel, you guys? Was maybe you're just gonna put a word in the chat or something like that, but does that feel like 2023 kind of is exciting? Was your future self guiding you to really good sensations, good feelings? I always find that there's a bit of humor, like when spirit guides or future self or someone comes and is in conversation, that wisdom always kind of has a lightheartedness, has a bit of humor to it that I never anticipate. Maybe because I'm a bit too serious. All right. There is a philosophy that I believe very deeply in. And this philosophy is in that when we do things proactively, then we have the groove, we have the body brain neuroplasticity, we have the neuromuscular relationship already created. So that when life gets really tough for us, or life situations get really difficult, there's something that we can fall back on that gives us stability, structure, fulfillment, joy, ease, and helps us kind of gather ourselves and take care of ourselves better. And it is in this idea of like when we practice small self-care steps, then what we are doing is we're clearing away, we're processing away things that do not serve us. We're clearing and processing away things that get in the way of us being connected to this higher truth that we have accessed here today. And when we can do that, all of a sudden we are building our containers. So yoga's word or Ayurveda's word would be ojas. And just saying that your ojas is your vitality. It's your ability to hold life. So like if you are a little tiny candle like this, your flame can only be so big because this container can't hold like a big campfire. It's not possible. This container, it doesn't matter how much you piled in there for wick or wax or whatever, it will never have the heat and light and bigness of like a campfire because this container can't support that. And if you want your life to be that big, beautiful campfire, you have to have your container be strong enough to hold a fire that big. Yoga and Ayurveda give us a set of tools. They give us a set of tools to be able to build that container. And it is in creating the daily habits, the daily rituals that allows us to have this container. And so many of you have been through the Year of You program with me, and you know that when you can drop back in to serve and feed and repair and restore and build your container, that life can expand. If our container gets run down, beat up, in ill health, full of fear, resistant to change, all of these things are things that make our container tight and small, little, unable to grow. I want you to flip to the page in your notes that just says old habits, new habits. Some of you might already know. I know that when I eat in rhythm, I know that when I don't snack at night and I give myself 15 hours of intermittent fasting every evening, that I sleep better, eat better, get up in the morning with more energy. Some of you know that when I move, when I exercise, when I put breath into my body, something shifts and everything else falls into place. Some of you know it has to do with your food, your nourishment. the Vadas in the crowd, you know you need to eat. You need to remember to eat. You need to nourish yourself, for when you don't, you just get ungrounded and unconnected and dizzy in here. And so that nourishing yourself becomes so important. Some of you know that it is in meditation. It's in the moments where you can quiet your mind, where you can be present and let yourself have time where you're not taking anything else in, to just digest your thoughts. Just digest. So maybe you're scribbling here on this page, your old habits, your new habits, the things that your body knows. Put this into practice. Put this into practice. It does not have to be all 10 habits. What is it that your body wants to put into practice so that you are proactively building your ojas to contain the bigger life that you want in 2023? The two middle pages in there, where it says 2023 loading and it says high impact, low effort, high impact, high effort. What I want you to consider here is that what are the low effort things that have high impact? What could you write in that quadrant where it's like, you know what? If I just told myself I was going to meditate for 10 minutes, it's kind of low effort. If I was going to meal plan, I don't know, maybe that feels like high effort. I don't know. But give yourself the things that are in your head low effort. Like, come on, I could do that. No big deal. Start to note, like, if something feels something's like, oh, that's lots. Like that one feels like that little goal or that little step feels like high effort, then that's not the one you're going to peg off right away. So anything that lands in the low impact and high effort column, don't do it. There might be one thing in your high impact, high effort column where you're like, yeah, that's going to take some effort, but I think there's some good impact there. You might have one thing there. The majority of your small changes for 2023 should be in the high impact, low effort quadrant. You get how this is going, hey? It's not so much making resolutions as it is setting things up so that those resolutions can come true. So I'm not so much getting you to create goals where it's like, I got to do this step, then this step, then this step. It's like, how do I take care of myself in such a way that I have the capacity, I have the energy, I have the motivation, and I have the drive to allow those goals to come to fruition. It's almost like we're not putting the cart before the horse, right? It's like, okay, let's really take care of this horse. And in all the care that we pour into ourselves, we know the cart will go faster. We know that we'll get to our goals because we've created a set of circumstances in our mind, body, and our soul where we can have that energy and drive to move towards what we need. Perhaps you're distilling this down, this workshop today. Perhaps you're distilling it down to something you can write on like um, a sticky note. Perhaps you're going to stick it on the front of your journal or on the front page of your journal. Maybe you get to go listen to your audio recordings. And I want you to listen as if you are your best friend, or read over your notes as if you are your best friend. And just feel your excitement, feel your support, feel your compassion and love for the desires coming forward from you. Nice. Perhaps on that last page, you're writing your word of the year, your commitment to yourself in 2023. I'll send this recording out if you feel like you need to do it again. Sometimes it's because there's something from 2022 that lingered. The release didn't fall off you as easily as we might have hoped. And that release might need a little bit more TLC. Sometimes it's because there's something that's not quite clear, but you can feel it. It's like right there, there's some clarity. There's a piece that you're like, oh yeah, I can't put a word to it yet, but the sensation is there. And maybe you want to do the workshop again just to be able to bring yourself to that place. If you can feel that this is important, that it is important for you to begin to live life in such a way that you are making decisions from this deep, purposeful place, then just know that's what the year of you does. It holds space for you. It holds space for you to grow in your capacity to listen to your own deep wisdom. Step by step, week by week, small habit by small habit, we build capacity to listen to our own deep wisdom. And if that's something that's important to you, then perhaps you want to join us in the year of you. As I scan the names here, there's a few of you who have already taken advantage of that. So you know. I want to thank you guys for being here today. I want to thank you for bringing your energy and being part of the community and participating the way you did. And thank everyone who's listening to the recording afterwards. Have a great 2022 and welcoming 2023. I'm gonna